Okay, thank you so much. The November 29th, 2022 special meeting of the Seattle Park District Board will come to order. It is 5:12 p.m. I'm Andrew Lewis, President of the Board. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Board Member Peterson.
Present.
Board Member Sawat. Board Member Strauss.
Present.
Board Member Herbold. Board Member Juarez. Board Member Morales.
Here.
Board Member Mosqueda.
Present.
Board Member Nelson.
Present.
Board President Lewis.
Present.
6 present.
Oops.
I believe Board Member Juarez just arrived.
Thank you.
Thank
7
you.
present. 7
They-
present.
Yeah, they weren't letting me in. Thank you, Mr. President.
Excellent, no worries. Okay, let's jump into the agenda here. So first, approval of the agenda. If there is no objection, the agenda will be adopted. Hearing no objection, the agenda is adopted. Approval of the minutes. The minutes of the October 17th, 2022 Seattle Park District Board meeting have been reviewed. If there is no objection, the minutes will be adopted. Hearing no objection, the minutes will be adopted. And will the clerk please affix my signature to the minutes? Public comment. At this time, we will open the hybrid public comment period. There is no one in council chambers present or signed up to public comment in person. Clerks have informed me that there is one. Sorry.
The public commenter is not present, Council.
Okay, that there is one remote commenter signed up but not present, is what the clerks are telling me. So I think we'll give it a moment to get that queued up. I will take the opportunity to summarize the instructions for public comment that I'm sure members of the public are very familiar with by now. But there will be a public comment period. The period will last 20 minutes or until the speakers list is expired. Speakers will be given 2 minutes to speak. There will be public comment speakers online and in person. And as I've just indicated, there are no speakers in chambers. I will call each speaker by name and in the order in which they registered on the council's website. Madam Clerk, do you have the name for the speaker when they are present?
Yes, the gentleman is Elliot Muting, and he is not present.
Okay, and the last name?
Muting, I believe, is Mueting.
Okay, I will give it another minute and then we'll close the period if the speaker is still not present. Once I call the speaker's name, staff will unmute the appropriate microphone, and an automatic prompt if you've been unmuted will be their cue that it is their turn to speak, and the speaker must press *6 to begin speaking. Please speak by stating your name and an item you are addressing. As a reminder, public comment should relate to an item on today's agenda. Speakers will hear a chime when 10 seconds are left of the allotted time, and once you hear the chime, we will ask that you begin to wrap up your public comment. If speakers do not end their comments at the end of the allotted time provided, the speaker's microphone will be muted to allow us to call on the next speaker.
Oh, just a second. The member is not present at this point.
Okay, given that we have had the process open for 3 minutes and the speaker has not gone online to take advantage of the period and there are no other speakers, I'm going to go ahead and use my prerogative as president of the MPD to close the comment session. If the speaker, Elliot Muting, or anyone else wants to send written comment to the board, I would appreciate that feedback. And I'm sorry that we weren't able to get to you this evening. I understand that it's kind of a late hour, later than we were expecting to convene. So that closes the public comment period. And we will move on to our items of business. Will the clerk please read agenda item 1 into the record?
Agenda item 1, Seattle Park District proposed 2023 budget for briefing and discussion.
We are joined by presenters, Tracy Ratzlaff from Council Central staff, Christopher Williams, acting superintendent, and Amy Williams and Selena Elmer from Seattle Parks and Recreation. Is that right? Is that our panel? So how should we arrange this, Tracy? Do you want to kick it off or should I give it to Parks?
Let's have Christopher and his team go ahead and begin a presentation, and then I will bring us home, so to speak.
Great, excellent. Superintendent Williams, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. We will attempt to move through this expeditiously as possible. I do want to start out by recognizing and appreciating the amount of time and energy you as council members acting in your capacity as the Park District governing body have put into this effort. So thank you for that. There's a lot of heartfelt appreciation for how we've ended up across the department. As you were aware, most of the changes to the park budget have related to the Cycle 2 plan, which you and your capacity as the governing board approved in September with several amendments. This represents a historic investment in parks and recreation services, and we greatly appreciate your support and effort to help ensure the department fulfills its mission and provide welcoming and safe opportunities to play, learn, contemplate, and build community. We've covered the changes in detail in previous presentations and discussions, so we'll quickly recap what's included in the 2020 Park District budget. Next slide. So what this is showing here, I think the main point is our combined proposed operating and capital budget next year will be about $335 million, with over 2/3 of that coming from the Park District and General Fund. There are several other fund sources that make up the Park District budget. The rest of the budget is supported by smaller funding sources like the sweet and beverage tax and King County levy sources, among others. Next slide here. Okay, this complicated slide is basically attempting to highlight the Park District financial plan, particularly our operating budget. These next two slides reflect the 2023 through 2028 Park District financial plan that you adopted on September 27th. The resolutions Tracy will present later at the end of the slide deck align with the 2023 adopted column, totaling about $118 million in revenues next year, which provide for about $67 million for programs and operations and about $48 million for capital programs and projects. The mayor's proposed package of Cycle 2 investments that totaled about $115 million in 2023, to which you modified with amendments totaling about $3.7 million in 2023, highlights of the final proposed slate of investments include the continuation of Cycle 1 services. Again, this amounts to about $58 million that will continue in 2023. And then new and expanded programs make up significant investments that balance out the balance of that. The next slide is a focus on our capital spending. So similar to the operating slide, this slide is showing the first year of capital spending, which you approved back in September, will total $48 million in that first year. Cycle 2 includes significant investments in the development of new parks and the renovation of and renewal of recreation facilities. This includes community centers. Again, the resolutions will be presented at the end of the slide deck, where Tracy will walk through the 2023 adopted capital investments that you see here. Next slide. So as we look ahead, we're going to come back next year. We'll be focusing on performance management and accountability for all of the investments per Resolution 51. We'll be coming back to you in early April after engaging the Board of Park and Recreation Commissioners and the mayor to have a discussion about what our performance management and accountability strategy will look like going forward. And then we'll be doing a mid-year update in June of next year, where we'll also be providing you with a 2022 annual Park District report. So we'll report out on this year's progress. So I'll pause right there. I went through that really quickly, but would like to pause to see if there are questions. And if not, we'll hand it over to Tracy.
Are there any questions on the underlying presentation for Superintendent Williams or other panelists? Councilmember Sawant. Oh, and I do want the record to reflect that Board Member Sawant is now present.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to say, and apologize for the delay. There were some Zoom problems. Thank you.
No, not a problem. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments from board members? Seeing none, let's go ahead and proceed to the briefing and discussion of the next agenda item. Will the clerk please read agenda item 2 into the record?
Agenda item 2, resolution 52, a resolution adopting the 2023 Seattle Park District budget.
Okay, Tracy, do you want to walk us through the resolution?
I sure will. It does exactly what the title just says. It would in fact adopt the 2023 Seattle Park District budget, which included the funding at both the budget summary level as well as the detailed line of business, which is what you just saw in terms of the previous slides that were broken down by the operating and the capital budgets for the Park District.
Great. Thank you so much. I do also just want to say at the top, I really appreciate that when we were doing the work in the late summer, early fall on the Metropolitan Park District, I really appreciate the collaboration from the executive in getting a preview of some of the elements that were in the executive's proposed budget that pertain to relevant items to the Metropolitan Park District, particularly things relating to Clean City Initiative and the Seattle Parks Department budget in the general fund proposals and assorted other fund sources. And reviewing the resolution was familiar as a result. And I think that might have been the case for several colleagues. That was really above and beyond and not something the executive needed to do, but that they did do that was very helpful. So do colleagues have any questions for Tracy? And if not, any comments on the underlying legislation? Board Member Peterson.
Thank you, President Lewis. For central staff, I guess the question is, I had voted against the 6-year plan, mainly due to the property tax increase. So to be consistent with that vote, I'm presuming I would need to vote no on 52, 53, and 54. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that would be a consistent action with what you have done before.
Thank you.
Board Member Swan.
Thank you, Board President Lewis. Just making sure this is item number 2 and that I will be voting no on this item approving the 2023 Parks budget. I voted no on the city's budget as a whole, which is an austerity budget during the City Council meeting a few minutes ago. And I don't need to repeat the points here. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Swan. Board Member Juarez.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, President Lewis, thank you so much for walking us through this whole Metropolitan Park District process and planning and community. We got, obviously COVID took us off schedule. And I know, thank you, Tracy. It was no easy task trying to do some of these community meetings via Zoom. It's amazing that you got it done. And I just want to appreciate your leadership on that, particularly the 6-year plan. And I also want to emphasize we have 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5 community centers that we had teed up and looking at the financing on it on the debt service for the Queen Anne Community Center, to the Green Lake, Mercer Community Center, Loyola Heights, and Lake City. Those are all community centers that have been in the we've been discussing them since I've gotten here and with Tracy. And so for you to get all of this over the finish line and the 6-year plan, I just want to thank you for that. And I will be supporting and voting yes on the items 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Juarez. Are there any other comments or questions from board members before we vote on Resolution 52? Seeing none, I would like to move Resolution 52 to put, I think I should have actually done that before. I move that we adopt Resolution 52. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution. Are there any further comments on the resolution? Seeing no further comments, will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the resolution?
Board Member Peterson,
No.
Board Member Sawant,
No,
Board Member Strauss,
Yes.
Board Member Juarez,
Aye.
Board Member Morales,
Yes.
Board Member Mosqueda,
Aye.
Board Member Nelson,
Aye.
Board President Lewis.
Yes.
6 in favor, 2 opposed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The motion carries and the Park District Board adopts Resolution 52. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the resolution on my behalf? Will the clerk please read agenda item 3 into the record?
Agenda item 3, resolution 53, a resolution authorizing the levy of regular property taxes by the Seattle Park District for collection in 2023, representing an increase above the regular property taxes levied for collection in 2022. For briefing, discussion, and possible vote.
Okay, Tracy, do you want to go ahead and walk us through Resolution 53?
Surely. So Commissioners, this is actually a resolution that might look similar to, but not exactly identical to Resolution 54. It actually is required under state law that when we are going to increase property taxes, that we actually have to adopt a separate resolution that says we're doing that increase and by how much and what percentage point. So this resolution is consistent with state law and indicates that we are in fact going to be increasing the property taxes by about $62 million over the 2022 amounts. And then also indicates that percentage change.
Thank you, Tracy. So I'm going to go ahead now and move the resolution in front of us, and then we can discuss it. I move that we adopt Resolution 53. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution. Are there any comments or questions about Resolution 53? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of Resolution 53?
Council, excuse me, Board Member Peterson,
No.
Board Member Sawant,
sorry, this is item number 3, is that correct?
Yes.
it is.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Board Member Strauss,
Yes.
Board Member Juarez,
Aye.
Board Member Morales,
Yes.
Board Member Mosqueda,
Aye.
Board Member Nelson,
Aye.
Board President Lewis,
Yes.
7 in favor, 1 opposed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The motion carries. Will the clerk please, motion carries and the Park District Board adopts Resolution 53. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the resolution on my behalf? Okay, final agenda item, Resolution 54. Will the clerk please read item 4 into the record?
Agenda item 4, resolution 54, a resolution relating to the levy of property taxes, fixing the property, both real and personal, in the Seattle Park District to finance the activities of the district for the year beginning in January 1st, 2023, for briefing, discussion, and possible vote.
Okay, Tracy, why don't you go ahead and walk us through Resolution 54?
So Resolution 54 would authorize the collection of $118 million in property taxes in 2023. This will represent an approximately a 39 cents per $1,000 of assessed value, and that is a preliminary number. Obviously, it matters when we get the total amount of the value of the property assessed in the city, but the approximate estimate is about 39 cents per $1,000 of assessed value. For the median homeowner, that equates to about $339 a year.
Thank you, Tracy. Are there any questions on the resolution from colleagues? And actually, I was mistaken. There is resolution 55 after this, so it's not the last agenda item. Okay, I'll just move it to get it in front of us. I move that we adopt resolution 54. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution. Are there any further comments on the resolution? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on resolution 54?
Board Member Peterson,
No.
Board Member Sawant,
Yes.
Board Member Strauss,
Yes.
Board Member Juarez,
Yes.
Board Member Morales,
Yes.
Board Member Mosqueda,
Aye.
Board Member Nelson.
Aye.
President Lewis,
Yes.
7 in favor, 1 opposed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The motion carries and the Seattle Park District Board adopts resolution 54. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the resolution on my behalf? Okay, will the clerk please read agenda item number 5 into the record?
Agenda item 5, resolution 55, a resolution setting Seattle Park District Board meeting dates for 2023.
Thank you, Tracy. Can you walk us through this? I understand there's a couple of slight changes that we're going to need to navigate.
One change only. So this resolution does establish the Park District Board meetings for 2023. I, in the original draft of the resolution, inadvertently scheduled us to meet on the 19th of June, which is now the Juneteenth holiday. So you are going to propose a substitute that actually changes that June date to June 26th.
Yeah, so did everyone get that very important but small change to the resolution? So we are going to be, as Tracy just indicated, the only substantive change in version 2, which has been distributed, is changing that meeting date from Juneteenth to June 26th. And I hope that will not be a controversial change. Seeing no questions from colleagues on that, are there any other questions on or comments on the rest of the resolution and the proposed schedule? Seeing none. Oh, sorry.
I believe before we move the substitute, you might want to move and have a second for the original resolution, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
So I will move to adopt resolution 55. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution. I move to amend resolution 55 by substituting version 2 for version 1. And this is the change we just discussed about moving the Juneteenth date to June 26th. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any comments on the substitute? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the motion to substitute version 2 for version 1 of resolution 55.
Board Member Peterson,
Yes.
Board Member Sawant,
Yes.
Board Member Strauss,
Yes.
Board Member Juarez,
Yes.
Board Member Morales,
Yes.
Board Member Mosqueda,
Aye.
Board Member Nelson,
Aye.
Board President Lewis.
Yes.
8 in favor, none opposed.
Are there any further comments on the amended resolution before us? Seeing no comments, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on the adoption of resolution 55 as amended?
Yes, just to cover myself, will you make a motion to adopt it as amended?
I did just now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I missed that. That
Do you
being
want me to
said-
say it one more time into the record just to make sure? I am tired. Maybe I didn't say it.
Thank you. I'm tired too. That would make, I better be safe than sorry. Thank you.
So thank you, Madam Clerk. Will you please call the roll on the adoption of resolution 55 as amended?
Board Member Peterson,
Yes.
Board Member Sawant,
Yes.
Board Member Strauss,
Yes.
Board Member Juarez,
Aye.
Board Member Morales,
Yes.
Board Member Mosqueda,
Aye.
Board Member Nelson,
Aye.
Board President Lewis.
Yes.
8 in favor, none opposed.
It's good to end today with a unanimous vote. The motion carries and the Seattle Park District Board adopts resolution 55 as amended. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the resolution on my behalf? And that concludes the meeting today, colleagues. If there is no further business, the board will adjourn. The next scheduled meeting of the Seattle Park District Board is scheduled to be on Monday, April 3rd of 2023. Hearing no further business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.